All aboard and welcome to our podcast, GoddeSShips, where we discuss how ships affect lives. And what did my computer just do? Hold on 2 seconds. There we go. Still not doing right. Okay. I'm going to work with it. All right. Well, anyway, for those of you who are just returning, thank you for your continued support and welcome back. And for those of you who are just joining us, welcome. And we look forward to seeing you again. Goddesses and gods, remember that we are now available wherever you listen to your podcast, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spreaker, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podcast Chaser, GeoSaving, iHeartRadio, and of course, here on YouTube. I am Keely, the Soul Snatching Goddess.
I'm Melinda, the F.A.C.K.T Goddess. I'm over playing with lighting on my phone. I have relocated and don't have my lighting right where I am, so don't mind me if I go in and out of blackness.
Still trying to get your bearings together.
We want to thank you for joining our podcast tonight, and please like, share, and subscribe, and bang on the notification button so you can be notified of our up and coming new episodes.
Hello, world. I'm FloydGod.
What is popsicle?
Pineapples. Great.
Lord.
Great.
We're going to get you a sponsorship yet.
I need one because I'll be fucking these popsicles up.
So you can get them for free.
I swear, I need these. I need a free sponsorship.
Well, time. Oh, I think I'm the only one got shirt cam tonight, huh?
Yeah, I don't. Still unpacking. Sorry.
No problemo. I got it. So, I am an old school gamer. Got that old Mario Brothers on my shirt. Hey, Tanika. Are y'all able to see that? Did I hit show? There we go. Tanika Scott said hi, you guys.
Hello.
Hey.
All right. And so tonight's episode is Co-Parentships. Even though you abandon the ship, don't abandon them kids.
What about taco meat camp?
We still trying to find a way to work that in. So
Taco meat camp.
we'll take a poll, and if
I'm just joking.
The ladies want to see the taco meat.
No, I'm cool. I'm just joking.
It out. No, you want to keep playing around with it. When they say they want it, give them what they want.
Yep. Give them what they want.
Give the people what they want. All right. So, co-parenting is an undertaking by parents who socialize, care for, and mutually upbring a child or children for whom they are equally responsible. The co-parent relationship differs from an intimate relationship between adults in that it focuses solely on the child, or at least that's what it's supposed to be. All right. So you broke up, you no longer want to be with each other, but you got kids, and you still have to be involved with that person to some extent. The ideal situation is to have a peaceful, hopefully minimal contact with your ex. So of course, you know, I did my research. We got Lele is here, y'all. She said, hey.
Hello.
So y'all know I do research on handy dandy Google for rules of engagement. So it says there's a couple of rules. Rule 1, establish a routine and structure.
You love them rules.
I'm just saying. Life is about rules.
No, it's about ships. You on the wrong podcast.
or
You get
breaking
on you
them,
another. What?
or breaking them.
Girl, life is about ships. You on the right. Get yourself together.
Life is lived on ships.
And about them.
Well, hey, I get it. I hear you. I I stand corrected tonight.
Thanks.
Anywho, establish a routine and structure. This allows the child to be confident and secure because they don't have to manage surprises, chaos, or confusion.
Are
So
we
in
gonna
both
go by
homes,
each rule?
yes.
Okay. I'm just checking.
So so in both homes, there should be things that are the same, such as bedtime, mealtime, homework rules, earning privileges, earning discipline, which I find as a choice set of words, chores, and curfew. Do y'all agree with that?
Is that all the first rule?
Yeah,
Damn.
Dang. How many rules is it?
it's like 8 or 9.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Yes.
Rules lasting longer than them relationships that started the co-parent.
Okay. Yeah, wait. I'm sorry. Can you read rule number 1 again?
Of
We're gonna
course.
be on here till midnight.
No, we're not. Establish a routine and structure. So this allows the child to be confident and secure because they do not have to manage surprises, chaos, or confusion. So in both homes, there should be things that are the same, such as bedtime, mealtime, homework rules, earning privileges, earning discipline, chores, and curfew.
I wish there were. I mean, y'all are. Well, I guess I'm a parent now, but I don't
Yeah.
co-parent. I don't co-parent with anybody.
Oh, never mind. I,
But those parents that co-parent, is it either one of you? Because I know your parents too.
I mean, I got to skip the co-parent part
I just
because
was gonna say, I wish there
you
was
kept out.
some parents on here that do co-parent, because I don't think that's very common for there to be the exact same routine like that.
I don't either because
No.
my thing is um mealtime is whatever time we eat at my house. So if y'all got a set time because you or your new boo cook at whatever time y'all cook at, I'm not gonna change my routine so we all eating at 6:30, whether they at my house or your house.
I mean,
They just don't know what the deal is.
different parents do different stuff, depending on the dynamic. Sometimes one parent let the kids do what they want to do, so things be different. One parent might have the discipline or the structure. So, in all my years, when I did it,
You used to what, Lele?
She said she used to co-parent.
when the
Oh,
boys used to come, when the boys used to come over, um, it was kind of free fall. We did whatever. It was like, you know what I mean? You because I tried to make it fun. So it wasn't really, it was structured, but not like that. It was like, okay, we all gonna eat, or, there was some universal rules, but all that other stuff, like I never whooped my kids, none of that shit. So
So did she have primary custody of them?
for a time she did.
Okay.
Time.
So if they got out of hand, were you ever like the disciplinarian, or she'd be like, "I'm gonna call your daddy"?
Well, she would, but the good thing about my sons is that I like discipline was really just if I looked at them a certain way and said something to them. My disappointment was more so like a punishment. I never had to whoop my boys.
Okay.
So now I don't know. I ain't gonna say I don't know. Matter of fact, she never whooped them, so they got off pretty good.
For me, I established dominance when they were younger, and they was in the little children.
Dominance.
Hell yeah.
Why
You need, because I realized I have boys. It's 9 times out of 10, they gonna be fucking taller than me, bigger than me, all of that than me. So when you get bigger, I need you to always remember who the fuck I am,
why,
and that I'm the one that'll do some shit to your ass if some shit needs to be
why
done. I don't
dominance?
gotta
It
call
sound
you
like
that.
fear. Fear.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily
Yeah.
a good thing.
It is. It was great because guess what? Them motherfuckers stayed out of trouble. They do what they supposed to do. If I look at them, if I say something, I ain't one of them mamas got to be like, I'm gonna call your daddy because you're not doing what I asked you to do. No, I'm it. I'm the end all be all. You want it, you'll get it.
That's kind of
And
a
even
double
if
edged.
I'm looking up at you like this,
That's kind of a double edged sword.
it can be double. They know I love them at the same time, but I
Okay,
will fuck you up.
so I'm gonna take us back to some old episode we did. I can't remember which one, but it was a while ago, and I brought this up. So my mother used to do that, and it made me feel a certain way about her because
Mm-hmm.
because she tried to establish that fear and dominance type of thing, but as I got older, my feelings toward her got a little different. So when I got bigger, it was like, well, I kill you, motherfucker, all of that old stuff, and I
Well, I
take you
was
out
never
of
that. I
here.
wasn't
And
never that deep. It wasn't a kill you motherfucker type thing, but
well,
they know I will get in their ass if need be at whatever time it needs to happen.
I think in retrospect we shouldn't. Well, I mean, I guess that's another episode.
Cause at the end of the day, let me see. After the little initial pops at 2 or 3 or whatever it was, they didn't have to have whoopings because they knew if I said I'm gonna come get you, they thought I was gonna come get them. So they straightened the fuck up.
But don't you think it's kind of a slippery slope or a thin line between fear and just respect?
Well, so the respect part comes because as they started to get older and more understanding of what rules are, I made sure to instill in them what they should do and that they should do what's right and what they've been taught, whether I'm there or not. If
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't do it in front of me, don't do it, period.
I hear what you're saying.
And so we have a very open discussion. But when they was all that back talking that little kids do right now, they already knew that shit was cut off. We don't do that. I'm not that mama.
Mm-hmm.
And because their daddy wasn't there, they couldn't always get the, oh, mama loves you. Don't do that. Don't blah blah blah. They had to get a little extra on the side. They got it cut both ways with me. They
I
got the
feel.
nice mama. And I would tell them, if you do what you're supposed to do, you can always get nice mama, fun mama, want to do things mama. But if you fuck up, you're going to get the other one. Who you want?
My mama was an ass whooper.
Well, see, I didn't like whooping them. And I really didn't have to. Like Eddie, he was, if I said that I was like the disappointment, if I said I was disappointed in him and looked at him in a certain way, or partially like was like, I don't even know what to say to you because I don't even understand why you acted in that manner. And it just really hurt my feelings. That would hurt him more than anything. He would go wherever he was going. I'd be like, I don't want your explanation. Leave me alone. He would come back, Mama, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Blah blah blah. And he would correct whatever actions. So I didn't really have to pop him. Other than I did have to scam him up a little bit. I snatched him up by a shirt when he was 3, but that was because my other son was born and he thought he was finna rebel about. He was all excited while I was pregnant. He was like, "Oh, my little brother coming. I'm gonna be a big brother." I'm doing the encouraging thing. You ready to be a big brother? He like, "Yeah." Man, I had that baby. He came to the hospital with my mama. He said, can somebody take that baby out her lap and get him?" And then he got up on the bed and got in my lap like he was a baby. I was like, "What are we doing?" He was like, he's like, "He gotta go home with us." Yeah, that's your little brother you've been waiting on that was in my stomach. He was like, okay. He wasn't excited no more. We go to the store that first night. We in the line. He decided he was gonna become a whole baby again. He was like, we standing in the line. I'm buying like little extra stuff that I needed that I didn't have at home that I knew I was gonna need when we got home. Go home for the baby. We in the line and I'm smelling something. I'm like, damn, somebody done farted like that. This Negro said, I said, Eddie, I said, did you boo boo? He looked at me like with the straight face and said, yes, I did. And he was like, and I gotta pee, and like just released on the people flow. I was like, what the fuck?
The next episode of Siblingships.
So I was like, y'all don't step in. It's some water on the floor down here. Y'all be careful.
That's deep.
Y'all need a sign. So when I get up, I ring my little stuff up. I said, ma'am, how big of a bag do you have? She was like, a big one, like where the big tissue go in. I said, can I get one of those, please? She was like, sure. I lined his car seat with it, and I set his ass in his car seat, and we rode the long way home with him and that shit on him. And he knew how to get home because he was old enough for that. So he was like, the street right there. The street right there. I was like, oh no. We got to go around the block a little bit. We rode around for about a good extra 10 minutes. He was hot. We got home. I said, you need to go in there and clean yourself up because I don't clean big baby boo-boo because you supposed to be a big boy. And he was in there like, it's getting on me. I said, oh, you wanted it to get on me? You're a big boy. I thought we was being big boy things. He didn't do that shit no more. I said, babies shit on themselves. And we don't know when they did it until we smell it. And then sometimes everybody don't change them. So if you're a big boy, you take your ass to the bathroom and flush it like you're supposed to do. Well, and he corrected his behavior. And was back a big boy.
Well, I think the conversation about fear and dominance might be another show. But as far as co-parenting,
yeah, because y'all didn't went all the way away from co-parenting.
Here we go. Look,
I was like, what is going on?
with the co-parenting, I think is based on the dynamic of y'all relationship that dictates. And getting back to the rule one, that dictates, time frame for discipline, eating time, stuff like that. What's the second rule?
Okay. It says decide on mutual agreement. With young kids, rules need to be agreed upon by both parents and then presented to the children. Don't argue about the rules in front of the kids.
Okay.
Also, don't let your young kids dictate what the rules should be. As kids grow, the rules will need to adapt to their needs. Because of this, both parents should renegotiate the rules several times a year. As kids mature, they need to assume more responsibility in making and keeping rules. So by the time they are teenagers, they ought to be respectfully negotiating rules with you. And by the time they are seniors in high school, they should be making about 98% of their own rules.
This sounds like the June and Ward Cleaver definition of co-parenting. I ain't never, I don't know nothing about.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I think not only does co-parenting depend upon how the two parents, decide to set up rules and regulations, but another factor goes into play if either one of them or both of them has a new mate. And the reason that I'm saying that is I know of a situation where these two parents are no longer together and the father now has a wife. And if there is not a good connection between the new mate and the other parent, that's going to cause friction in the co-parenting. So for whatever reasons, he has kept them apart and at a distance. So they don't even communicate with one another. Which for me personally, that's an issue because your children are going to be with this other person when their visitation time comes to be with their dad. So I don't think either one of them should allow him to have that type of hand in it as far as them communicating. But also, this person, um, this person lacks melanin, and everybody else possesses melanin. And so there's a cultural difference. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
that has a bearing on co-parenting. And I'm going to give you an example. Um, the When she met the children, they asked what her name was. They respectfully asked what her name was and what she wanted to be called. She said monster and started laughing. So they're only 6, but they're very intelligent. So that pretty much turned them off from
Mm.
her, as it probably would with anybody.
Hold on, wait.
So,
So the grown woman said she wanted to be called monster.
and then laughed.
Yeah.
So they live in 2 different states now. And so when they go see the father, it's like for 2-week periods at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So on this one visit they went on, he came back and his report was they won't talk to my wife. So their mother was like, well, what do you want me to do? So they didn't discuss that situation at that time, but he was just like, well, they got in trouble for it. And she was like, well, why? And what type of trouble did you put them in? So their punishment was being in timeout, and they had to sit on the stairs for, I guess, as long as their age. I think that's the rule of thumb with timeout.
It is.
So some months go by. It's time for their next 2-week visit. The one child is like, okay, she must have been like, okay, I don't want to do this no more. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to her. But the other child was like, I don't have nothing to say to her. And so at this juncture, the mother brought up to the father, well, you do recall when they were first introduced, your wife said to call her monster. She said, and our children had an issue with that because they're not stupid by any means. So they didn't think it was funny. And so the one child would rather take the punishment on the stairs still than have anything to do with her. And she's okay with it. And so she even came back from the second visit because the father told on her again. It was like, she still wouldn't do it. She stayed home with me. Stayed home with me. They went and had fun, and she was okay with it. So he has a problem with her being okay with the punishment that he set.
And it's also probably solidifying her not liking her because now she's taking the sister to go have fun and it's alienating her also on some other stuff. So it's kind of
So
still
she
double
asked.
edged.
So the one that lacks melanin said, "Do you not like me?" And she said, "Nope." And you know how kids are; they're gonna give it to you raw.
Yeah.
So,
True.
what else you want to talk about? Because no, I do not like you, and I will sit on these stairs every time. So,
yeah, I'll agree with you on the cultural thing. Yeah.
So it's just like, why in the hell would you say that's your name first and foremost? And then my second thing is, you a fully functioning adult. You know what you said, and sometimes adults do have to make amends with children, and that's what she should be doing instead of saying you don't like me, because you know why she don't like you.
Well, maybe she doesn't, because again, she may have thought if she laughed at it, she may have thought it really and truly was funny in her mind. Like,
and
the fact, and the other problem is nobody has actually had, or seems like from what you said, had a conversation with her to ask her, what is it about her that you don't like?
But who in their right mind would tell some little children that their name is fucking monster? Like, it's just certain common sense things that just fall in there. Like, I'm not gonna tell no little kids. Monster with little kids just don't go together. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, okay, so on one of the shows that I watch, there's a little boy. His nickname for everybody is Monster.
Yeah, but that's TV.
Does he have melanin?
He does.
But
What's
that's
the show?
TV.
Love and Marriage Huntsville. The
That's
little
TV.
boys
No,
nickname is.
No, that's a reality show on TV. That
yeah.
ain't real.
But
See,
I'm saying, but they call him like it's not like it's a forced thing. Like the mama tried to incorporate his actual name when they were discussing him on the thing because they are in a co-parenting situation. So when they were discussing him, the daddy and the mama is like, well, Monster did and Monster this and Monster that. And when the mom, the actual mom came in, biological mom came in to talk about a situation with him, she used his correct and proper legal name. So it was that's what they were used to calling him. Monster.
well, when you were saying, Melinda, about
It's just me.
the cultural, when you were talking about this, a difference culturally, I just wanted to say something about that because with the example that you use, I understand that because I can't speak for the other side, but I know in my situation with my children, this might be a cultural thing. I think we had kind of a universal just rule. We didn't even have to talk about it. Like your significant other ain't gonna discipline or touch my children. My significant other is not gonna discipline or touch the children because we are the parents. So if we can't talk about it or deal with it, it's not up to them. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, in that situation, I guess you had to have a sit-down conversation because of the cultural difference. But I think a lot of black people have universal rules that just go without saying.
Well, that wasn't my universal rule, but we got some comments I'm gonna go to before I say my piece. Lele had laughed earlier. She said abandoned ship. She said not the child, and that common sense ain't common. So, in terms of that rule, so let's go back to my actual for real co-parenting role was when I first got with my kid's father. Um, he already previously had a son, and that's my bonus son who still calls me mom now. He came to live with us when he was in third grade, I believe it was. And so, but his dad was working overnight. During the day he would sleep. So I had him a majority of the time. When I got ready to go somewhere, he didn't want to stay at home. His dad, he was like, I'm going with you. Can I go with you? Even if I was going grocery shopping, he didn't care. He just wanted to be with me because he was used to being with me. And but within that, I also needed to have a discussion, and I had it with both him, the dad, and the biological mom. I was like, if he gonna be with me full time like this, uh, he needs to know that if he gets out of line, he's gonna be disciplined by me. I'm not saying we gotta wait till you get home and you all out in public with me cutting the food, and I got to wait because kids are smart. I mean, they recognize and they realize and they can manipulate depending on what child it is. You're not gonna have me hemmed up, feeling like I can't discipline the child, and at the end of the day, I don't have any malicious or ill intent. If y'all have a problem with it, one of y'all can have him. But if he's gonna be with me, he needs to know that he'll be disciplined by me if he's with me and some shit go down.
That's slightly different though because he was with you full time.
But he was saying about a universal rule of because
but I'm saying
he
even
went
with
back
that,
to his mama.
but even with that, that's different. If a child is with you full time, that rule of engagement is different because you rightfully so you should be able to discipline him because you are the second mama at this juncture, and it's not just for a couple of weeks. He was with y'all for some years. Mm-hmm. So that's what I mean by it's different than if it's a week or 2 week visit. Then I can see what Floyd is talking about. Like in 2 weeks, you don't really have any leverage to be putting your hands on my child. When I can be called and handle them when they get back, or the dad or mom or whatever can handle them right there. So that's what I meant by that's a difference. You should absolutely have that. Should have had that conversation with them because it's like that was a permanent placement, so to speak.
But did y'all ever have a conversation like in the beginning about rules and regulations on how or if this child will be disciplined by who? Was that ever a conversation between?
Oh yeah, that's
That's
what I'm
what she was
saying.
saying.
That's what I'm saying. I
Mhm.
was like, we need to have this conversation now, because I don't mind him coming here, but I need for everybody involved, because I don't need him to go home or visit his mama, because it was a visit, and be like, she whooped me, she popped me or whatever, and then she come to
You made me
me
think
in
of
the wrong
something.
way, because everybody gonna get it.
I did. I will say this too with co-parenting when we're talking about one of the parents being with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking from the somebody else's perspective, sometimes you don't even want to get involved because, first of all, it's such a short period of time, and then
Mm-hmm.
secondly, it could be an issue that's so, I guess, so serious or needs further attention or discussion. So it's like, oh, she only here for the weekend. I'm gonna let your parents handle that. Like for instance, one time I remember my boyfriend's daughter was over, and she had a boyfriend in the city when she would come visit him. And I got home from work, and they were literally laying beside each other on the concrete in front of our house. So like it was the street part right before you turn into the driveway. So I'm like, I pull up like boop boop, like can I, pull in the drive? So they moved, and then they reassumed their position, right? And so because I'm a female and his child was a female, I was like, I don't think your dad is going to approve of what you two are doing right now. I was like, so you might want to get on up and go on in the house or walk around the block or something. You know what I'm saying? Because they were teenagers. But still, you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, we good, or, whatever she said in her little teenage. I said, oh, okay. So I went in the house. I said, I just want to make you aware, in case any other cars pull up, that your daughter and her boyfriend are laying beside each other in the middle of the concrete. In the middle of the street on the concrete. I have no idea. And he was like, what? He went outside and gave her a different flavor. And I'm like, I tried to save you. You got sassy with me. So now you get what you get. Your little boyfriend got sent home. Got told he probably won't be coming over no more. Like it went way to the left.
No.
And of course, being a teeny bopper, she felt like he was doing too much and didn't understand what the big deal was. So I'm just saying sometimes you'd be like, oh, well, let me go ahead and remove myself from the equation. Because that right there is a little bit serious, but it needs to be dealt with. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, in situations where I've had another significant other and my children was around them, I've always said to that person, look, if I'm not around and my children do something out of pocket, you need to call me. Mm-hmm. But it's, get in touch with me, let me know what's going on. Mm-hmm. Or the threat that you can give could be, I'm going to tell your dad. But as far as if you have to discipline them, because I may be gone for a period of time, the only thing you probably could do is maybe take something from them. Mm-hmm. But as far as physically disciplining them or raising your voice at them, like I didn't tolerate that shit. So, you got to come holler at me because those still my children. And that's nothing person. It's just, those my children. I'll deal with them. Because I don't know what this going to be. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I will say that.
Mm-hmm. But I guess I get what you're saying, but that still is situational because when you're an adult, you also not gonna let no children disrespect you. And I'm not saying that yours would. I'm just saying that could be the flip side to it because you gone, and if your kids think they're gonna get over on me, then I don't know what this is gonna be either because I'm not letting your kids disrespect me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to put my hands on them or holler at them or nothing like that. But at the same time, they need to stay in a child's place.
Yeah, you gotta check a motherfucker.
And I think some children will try to cross that line if they think that they can.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes, even if they don't think that they can, they still will try because that's just what some kids choose to do.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Lele said she was like you, Floyd. Don't touch our damn kids.
Yeah, and I mean to put it in perspective, my children were never disrespectful to anybody that I may have had them around, they might have
Mm-hmm.
did some things, and that person might have been like, "Hey, don't do that. I'll tell your dad." Well, my children
Mm-hmm.
are disrespectful, but on the flip side, if your child is disrespectful as an adult, you do have to stand your ground. So
Absolutely.
I do totally understand that. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So on the other side of the co-parent, when I had my husband and he came into the boy's life, they were older, and I think that makes a difference too.
The age
The
of the
age
children.
when that person comes into their life,
Mm-hmm.
um, and so they had a few growing pains when he came in because he knew that their dad was really extremely checked out with them. Um, and so he also was trying to get to know them because I mean he knew them a little bit because like I said, we were friends prior to getting together. So he knew them a bit, but not intimately like he was once he started dating me and became a husband and all that stuff. So he would do stuff with them by himself, and just stuff that their dad was
We
not
would
doing.
tell each other secrets, and you wasn't a part of it.
Yeah, I didn't like that shit once they
I
got to that
know.
level.
Still don't
I
like
hated
it.
that shit for a minute. And then I had to get over it because I'm like, they're males. You want them to have a male that they can confide in and talk to about the shit that I really didn't want to hear them talking to me about when he wasn't
You
there.
still get
And,
mad right now. You need to calm down.
whatever. Ain't nobody asked you nothing. Cause them was I was like I had voting rights and everything. I used to be like, "Ooh, we doing blah blah blah," and they used to be on my side. Then they start having their own shit. Then it was just me. I'm like, "What the fuck is this? Oh, y'all turning on me? This
Oh,
what we doing?"
that happens though, but that happens. That happens.
I hope they're safe tonight, because boy, she's reliving that.
Listen, they already know if something happens, if somebody in the world do something and I see it, I'm gonna get on their ass about it. And they know I ain't saying that they gonna do it, but I don't want you to never say, "Well, mama, you ain't never tell us to do that." Yes, the fuck I did.
On the next episode of GoddeSShips, Mommy Dearest. Tune in next month.
Okay,
They
what's
can
the
get
next
them.
rule? We're gonna be on here till midnight. What's the next rule?
Oh my God, girl. Don't fight
Wait it
in front of
on.
the kids. This includes
That
fist
is
fights
key,
and trashing on social media.
because they take a side, and then
Well,
they have
kids shouldn't
receipts,
follow you on social media.
and then they have receipts when they take a side. But mama, you said, but daddy, you said, and the parent get mad and pull that parent card, but they know the kid be telling the truth.
That's why you ain't supposed to have your kids on your social media like that.
Like I said, mommy should.
Mommy ships.
You shouldn't have your kids on your social media. If you know you're gonna be wilding out, if you that type of person that puts your shit on social media like that, then you probably shouldn't have your children on your social media. That's just my thing. And if off of social media, you probably want to be selective about where you argue or disagree or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that falls back into the age of the parents too, and kids raising kids. Because I'm sure y'all have observed, whether you know them or not, parents wilding out in front of the kid, and you be like, your kid, but your child.
Little Ray Ray, right there, baby. Why y'all fighting?
Yeah, that's nuts.
Don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Ray might be in the mama arms. She don't care.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty wild shit. But
yeah, you be like, come on, man, not in front of the kid, and you be saying not in front of the kids.
You wonder why little Ray Ray out here killing motherfuckers 10 years later. Because of your ass.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, another part to not so much as fighting in front of the kids, right, is allowing for other people to trash talk the other parent in front of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one right there. That's a big one. And I'm gonna say the parents who are co-parenting need to not trash one another in front of their children. That's a very important one. It don't matter how the parents broke up or whatever. The children should always know that they have two parents that love them. Whatever the events that transpired that caused you two parents not to be together should not be put upon those children, because it changes how your children view the parents. Lord have mercy. Woo, that's a whole nother show. Lord have mercy. This tea wavy to the motherfucker. I'm gonna shut up and sip this tea. Whole nother show.
Because I used to have to curb my mama, because my mama's mouth is reckless. Man. And she would be like, and I'd be like, no, we're not gonna do that. I was like, Mama, you know how I feel about him. And we had our discussion on the low, but at the end of the day, they'll develop whatever relationship and feelings they're gonna have for their daddy without me putting nothing on his name. Because at the end of the day, a lot of times, if you trash talking them, you look like a bitter person. You look like you just don't like my daddy, and she just be talking about you, daddy, and my daddy is so wonderful, and he did all of this, and he did shit. I'll let you see it.
Look here. A lot of people who became parents did not plan that shit. Right? Would you all agree? So a lot of people who became parents were fairly young. They may not have necessarily had their shit together, their priorities together. They may not have been mature enough. And so along those times, you go through the years, you're trying to raise your kids, you might do some less than ideal stuff on both parents, right? But if you sitting up in front of your children talking about that, then you're creating a certain opinion that, that these children are going to have. And that causes problems down the line. And I'm going to tell you, when I first started out as a parent, because I did not plan none of that shit, I was thinking with the wrong hen head. And I was still kind of messing around in the streets, so it was certain things that I fell short on as a parent in the beginning, right? And the mother of my children, she'll probably never admit it, but I know it was, she used to say a lot of fucked up shit. And it caused my children to formulate an opinion. And so I spent a lot of years after that trying to, because like I always been transparent with my kids, but I was like, look, yo, man, I was out there in the streets, I was fucking up. I had to learn how to be a parent. I had to learn how to be a dad, just like I had to learn how to be a man. So, I spent a lot of years trying to fix something that had been damaged because of words. You see what I'm saying? And so I totally agree. It's very important that parents, regardless of what the situation is, keep your opinions to yourself. When it comes in terms of talking in front of your kids, talk to that person about it. But your kids shouldn't be involved. Your kids should be kids. Don't involve them in that shit, because it can tarnish the relationships that you're trying to create on either side. So
Lele said people really, really need to understand parent bashing is not a good on the good on the children. Let them draw their own conclusion of their parent.
This is very true. And to build on that, it's so funny she said that, because I used to always tell my youngsters, you can believe what you want to believe, but life gonna show you what it is, and you gonna see. And sure as shit stank, life showing them what it is. And you understand what I'm saying? That's another conversation. We'll call that parentships.
Yeah. Oh, Lord. All right, next rule. Don't break rules for favor from the kids. Some parents think they're gaining cool points with their kids and undermining the other parent by breaking established rules. For instance, you can stay up late and watch TV with me. You can cuss at my house. While the kid may like it, it also reads that you're too lazy to be consistent. You're telling your kids that they're not worth the effort it takes to be a parent.
Now, I disagree with that. And I'm going to say, and this is why I disagree. Because when I was younger, as a young parent, before I had got them, and they would come visit, that was them being with their dad was like an outlet for them. It would probably be weekends, breaks, stuff like that. So I would let them, now I ain't let them cuss, I ain't play that shit. But I would let them stay up late, because we'd be up playing video games, playing music. Sometimes I put them in the car. We take rides 1, 2 in the morning down Lakeshore Drive. I used to do a lot of stuff. It wasn't that I was, destroying any type of discipline. It's an outlet. You were
enjoying your time with them.
Yeah, it's all time. Now when I finally got them, and it was school and all that, okay, you gotta go your ass to bed. You know, there's structure there.
Mm-hmm.
But in the beginning, it's an outlet. It's the weekend. You're supposed to be able to, you know. I disagree with that. So, because sometimes you gotta have that outlet, especially if, or just like if you have daughters and they're with their mom, there has to be some type of outlet. You know, the ladies hanging out, just like boys with their dad. You know, the ladies, how are they gonna learn? How are you gonna bond? So, I kind of disagree with that one.
I get it. I think that one is kind of on the shared time more than
Okay.
if they're coming to visit the one.
I feel that, like joint custody type of deal.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel.
Like I said, I like that
yeah.
rule.
Yeah, I feel that if it's a joint custody thing and the kids staying with you for 6 months and staying with them 6 months and the school time and shit, and you letting them do that, then yeah, I would have an issue with that. So yeah, it depends on the situation. So I can dig it. I can dig it. This tea wavy as hell.
Make custody transition rituals. Have a set time and place for custody exchanges.
Oh.
Yeah, I get that. Depend on the dynamic of the relationship too.
Listen, and when it is not a good relationship, it goes awry.
You gotta meet in the parking lot of McDonald's. You're not coming to my house.
Listen. So I got another example of where the co-parent, the parents don't necessarily jail, even though they're co-parenting, is pretty much court ordered what they're supposed to do. And the man had it set up where they had to meet at a fire station. But when it would be his turn to, when he was the one dropping the children off, he didn't want to go to the fire station. He wanted to meet where he wanted to meet.
Oh no.
So then it becomes like, now you tampering with the time. Because like if I get them at 6 on Thursday and I got to return them at 6 on Tuesday, we messing around to 7 to 8 o'clock on Thursday because you want to play around with the meeting spot. And then by the time you get it on the court calendar, you know, it's some other issue in place. So that can definitely cause a tangled web.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Meet at the liquor store. I'm gonna pick up a little Ray from the liquor store.
And then you don't even want to come to the liquor store. You want to go to McDonald's.
Right. Yeah, I've not. Yeah. I never had that, but I feel that. Yeah, I've seen that though. Like you just don't get along. The court got to be like, y'all got to pick them up from here.
And then the whole reason that was done is because he didn't want her coming to the house.
And then you still don't want to do what you set up.
Sometimes you come to the crib, you know how they might act afterwards. You know how they go. That's why that depends on the dynamic of the relationship.
But see, if I was the parent on the other end, how my children go to a house you want me at? What if there's an emergency? We got to go back to court.
Flo, why you laughing?
Because Judge, this is not working.
Because if I don't want you at my house and there's an emergency, you better get it from God, or you better call or work it out. Something got to give. There's got to be a reason why.
That ain't even realistic.
It's got to be a reason. It's got to be a reason why the person wouldn't want somebody to come to their house.
I don't care what the reason is. That goes back to keeping adult business away from the children.
Well, the reason mine didn't want it to be that because he didn't want me to know where to send that child support order to.
Oh, well, that's a whole nother dynamic.
But I found it anyway.
But I've seen. So I knew this lady who was in a relationship. She was married and she was going through a separation, and the husband was like, he was old fucking C, right? So the court made them meet at a mutual place. She had moved to another location.
I'm sorry, excuse me, sir. Can you explain what OC is for possibly people that are viewing that don't know?
OC, out of control.
Oh,
okay.
So, so she had moved to another place, and the court told them that they had to meet to, transition the children in a mutual or neutral place, because it wasn't in the best interest for the children if this mom was wilding out to be coming to their house like that. And if she tried to come to his house, he might have, acted crazy then. So that was a different circumstance, So, because some of these folk crazy now, but again, it's the dynamic of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But I know who you had kids with.
Huh?
Better know who you had kids with.
That's true. But I ain't gonna lie. I was in a situation where I didn't want a motherfucker to know where I stayed at. I just didn't want you to know where I stayed at. It didn't have nothing to do with child support or nothing. I just didn't want you to know where I stayed at, because you might have had the propensity to show up.
Nah.
I need to know that where my kids going is safe.
Period.
But it didn't have nothing to do with the kids, is what I'm saying.
No, but she's saying on the mother end, regardless of what your reason is, I need to know where my children are going. Like, that's not even realistic. Anything can happen. Anything can happen on either side.
I hear that.
Yeah.
That's debatable. But I do understand your point, FACKTgoddess. I do. That's debatable.
Especially if they're younger, because something could happen to the parent. And then they like, we don't know where we are. You know what I'm saying? You know, in this day and age, that would probably be apt to happen less because of cell phones and technology.
But, you know,
but
20 years ago now.
Yeah, like
20 years ago, you're gonna call, you can't get in touch with a nigga, call the mama, call somebody.
Right.
Times have changed. I get it. So that's why I say I agree with what you're saying. It's debatable, but I agree with what you're saying.
All right.
You got a lot more freaky deacons out here these days, Lord.
Avoid competition. When a child comes back from a visit and says that your ex-partner makes a better meal or is more fun to be around, take a deep breath. Say, I'm glad you have a parent that can do those things for you, and let it go. Immediately switch the subject and redirect the activity. This creates a clear boundary that stops toxic rivalry.
That is hard.
Listen here. That's some real shit right there. Because you will be surprised how these parents be acting. So I was just at Daddy's house, and Daddy let us kick it. He had all the new games, and he made this, and we went over here and ate here, and we did this. I don't give a damn what you did with your daddy. We gonna do this. Hating ass mama, hating ass mama, hating ass mama. So what? He did that. Well, that's good for you. La-di-da, motherfucker. See your hating ass mamas, hating ass daddies too, though. But yeah.
Well,
yeah.
But you know what? In all seriousness, that can definitely pose a problem when there is a difference in their like social level or their finances.
Yeah.
Like if you going to daddy's mansion on the weekend and coming to mama's subsidized housing, it's hard for a child not to make a difference.
Talk to him.
You know what I'm saying?
Talk to him. You at Daddy's house. Daddy got the big ass apartment. You can run around, do shit. We kicking it and shit. You eating good. Video games on a big dumbass TV, riding around, enjoying yourself, looking at girls and shit. Then you go to your mama house. She got 11 motherfuckers running around that motherfucker. Ain't shit. Yeah, you gonna feel some type of way. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I snap for a minute? Excuse me.
You did. I'm gonna need you and Keely to take a chill pill.
I had a flashback. I'm sorry. I had a flashback.
But that whole jealousy thing, this ain't even really got nothing to do with a co-parent. But I was at one of my aunt's house, and her son, I was essentially like spending the weekend with her son, which is my cousin, and we just chilling out at her house. She would come get me or whatever. And so I made, it was like a sub sandwich or something. It wasn't even nothing major. But when I left, he asked her to make it the next weekend. But he was like, you need to get the same stuff she got, and you need to make it like she made it. And I guess she didn't make it like I made it. And he talked about it and trashed it. He was like, you don't make it like Keely made it. And she called me mad. She's like, I don't know what kind of damn sandwich you made over here, but I made it with the same shit, and he wasn't satisfied. And I was like, I'm sorry.
Hate. Hate. See, that's hate.
You done went and disrupted their whole household.
Can't make no steak like Pops. Can't make breakfast like Pops.
Lele said you went to ground zero mode.
I had a flashback.
You did. You like, I was like,
I had a flashback. I had a flashback, you know.
Ooh, it was a serious one.
I had to snap out of it a little bit.
I'm so glad because I didn't know where we was going with it. I was like,
ooh, Grind my gears. They used to grind my gears. Boy.
Spit on them. Tell them. I was like, oh.
So what you with your daddy? Lie it down. You hate me. What the fuck?
So this rule somewhat contradicts rule 1. Because
hold on, what rule number is it? Because we got 5 minutes.
Girl, really? Anywho, this rule somewhat contradicts rule 1.
Yeah.
Because it wants you to accept the differences. For instance, it is normal if the rules in your home differ from those of your ex-spouse's or partner's home. Be clear about your rules. That is the way they do it in this home, in that home, and the other parents' rules are okay in their home.
The differences. My whole life has changed. Oh.
No comments.
I mean, I think that it's like we keep saying, it depends upon the situation, because like Floyd was pointing out, a lot of times with the whole co-parenting thing, you live with one parent, you're visiting the other one. Mm-hmm. And usually your visitation is either on weekends or breaks, when there really aren't very many stipulations to what you do during that time. So that's where that, like the last rule comes into play, because you go with the other parent for the weekend or vacations. So you come home excited about what you did, because you're going to get into that regular old mundane Monday through Friday routine when you get back home. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're just going for the weekend, of course, you're probably not going to have a bad time. You're probably going to eat junk food. You know, everything that is done on a regular basis is thrown out of the window. So it just depends. Now, like y'all were also saying, with split joint and legal custody, for example, then you do want to kind of keep things. It's hard to be like, well, on school nights at dad's, I stay up till 11. But here with mom, I got to go to bed at 8. You know what I'm saying? That is going to cause a rift, because.
But school nights with dad, and you get to stay up at 11 as opposed to mom at 8. Dad is saying, just for example, dad is saying, if your ass don't get up on time, you're going to have to go to bed like your mama make you go to bed. You know.
Yeah, so, that's true.
Yeah. So, you know, you try to give them chances and shit. But I feel you. Yeah, dynamics.
Avoid the divide and conquer syndrome. Kids have a natural curiosity to learn about parental differences. One way they'll do this is to trigger your worst emotional reaction. Mm-hmm. This is normal and not malicious. Kids will do their best to split parents further apart in order to see what's inside. They'll test the rules.
Yes, they will.
The situation and manipulate. Their job or developmental task is to discover and learn, especially about their parents. So don't jump to conclusions or condemn your ex when you hear things from your children that make you brittle. Take a breath and remain quiet. Remember that any negative comments your children make are often best taken with a grain of salt.
I have always been transparent to a fault with my sons. So didn't nothing they mama did faze me and whatever. I never had to deal with them. I ain't never had to deal with them because I was transparent to a fault. I said shit I probably shouldn't have told them about me. So, you know, I tell them everything. So I ain't have to worry about that.
All right.
They know too much.
So when you are talking to your kids about their time at the parents' house, ask open-ended questions. So how was your weekend? Or what did you do? However, don't needle them with specifics such as, did your mom have a boyfriend over? Was your dad watching TV all weekend?
Did he leave you there by himself? I mean, by yourself?
With her.
I might get grilled. Women do that more than men. Cause
no.
They be like, so you was your mama had over there. What nigga your mama had over there?
Yep.
What girl they have over there? Was any girls over there? What y'all was doing? Where y'all was? So we did all these girls over there.
Men do the same thing.
We don't have to do that. The kid come back and be like, "Mama, my daddy girlfriend had took us and did such and such."
The only time I think one of my kids has said this lady I was dating had a big old booty, and I think they were just so mesmerized with this woman's body that they just had to speak on it, on the Suge Avery side. Speak, Lord. And they
said something to the mama.
Yeah, it was like daddy had this lady. She was nice, but she had a big old booty, This one, it's years ago.
That's funny.
So other than that, no. But I never was fazed by nothing they told me that went on in their mama house. I ain't get no fuck.
So Lele said, I will say this. My oldest learned that both her parents are cool as hell, but the one that you live with has to have more rules and structure.
Yeah, I can dig it.
And she said that's because she moved with her dad for a bit to see for herself.
Oh, wow.
And
good point.
She laughed. Well, my kids didn't move with their dad. I just let them go for a few days of Christmas break, and they called me every day asking could they come home, and said they didn't want that life.
My children moved in with me, and their life was better because I let them do a lot of shit. Let them stay up, kick it. They could go. I let them go do shit. So as long as you don't fuck up, we had simple rules.
Yeah.
Don't have no babies. Don't be doing no drugs. Respect me. Clean your room. Clean the house. Clean up after yourself. And we gravy. Like, it's good. I just need to know where you go. I think I was more laid back. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I didn't have a whole lot of other children.
Well, I just wanted them to know how well they had it. So for one Christmas break, I made sure that they went over there with their daddy. And literally, they called me every day after the first day and complained and said, "Can we please come home?"
For real?
Oh yeah, every day. It was
worse
new.
over the father house?
Oh yeah. Every day they called and was like, "Please, we want to come home." They was like, "It's cold over here." Then they called the next day. They was like, "We eat but such and such over here." Like they called every day. It was something new. I was like, "No, y'all got to spend time with y'all daddy. Like, get to know everything." I left him over there on Christmas Day because I know his ass didn't buy him no gifts. And so I was gonna see him on the day. Still that same day on Christmas. I was supposed to be picking him up. So,
that sounds like some bullshit.
No, that was bullshit on his part. Buy your kids Christmas gifts. You got all motherfucking year. You know when Christmas is. Every year, don't change.
You knew he ain't had no Christmas gifts, so why
you never have fucking Christmas, but then you want to say what we got them. We ain't get them shit. And they gonna see we ain't got shit. Me got shit.
I used to buy when the mother of my children didn't have, because in some years, everybody go through shit. Some years she might not have had Christmas gifts. I would buy shit and put her name on it.
Every year? I ain't finna put your name on it.
No, it wasn't every year. It wasn't.
This is every year. Every year. And then you holler about we. We ain't even together no more, nigga.
I just didn't want the youths to be traumatized.
Well, they were old enough by that time. I need you to see who this nigga is.
Damn.
And I knew I was getting them later on that day anyway, so they still was gonna get their gifts. And I brought them on with me so they can open it and everything. So they was fine. They just knew who he was.
Rick James, cold-blooded. There it is.
Take the veil off. Anyway, it's time for. Do you got one? I love you, butt.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's time for I love you, butt. We still need your suggestions to be sent to the FACKTgoddess. That's F.A.C.K.T. Goddess @gmail.com. It will also be in the description below. And so that y'all already, since y'all all, when is it gonna be over? Is it the last rule? The last rule is take the high road.
We know Floyd's not gonna do that.
I am shocked and appalled by your statement. When they go low, I go high.
Oh boy, I'm so glad this is almost over. I can't sit here with all the lies and deceit.
I take the dirt road. Fuck them.
See, and there, folks, you have it. I love you, but no, I'm kidding. So I got this because a friend of mine said that something was he said he was saying that something was his, but he said mine's with the S on it. And so I was like, I said, you are not setting moms, so say mine. And he was like, what you mean? The word is mines. And I mean, like literally was arguing with me, the fat goddess, about the word mines and how what context, the context in which you use it. I said, look it up. I said, and then tell me what your results are. I said, because if you find that mine with an S on it is deemed to be the word that you use when you're referring to possession, I said, I need to know what dictionary you got that from.
Ebonics.
So he looked it up. And then when we talked again, I was like, so did you, you didn't tell me if you found the word. And he was like, so what, you just want me to say it? I said, no, you don't have to say it. I said, but I knew I was right the whole time. I'm just glad you found out that you were wrong. So asshole. I love you, but tonight is mine as opposed to mines. And it's not with a Z. I'm just putting emphasis on the S. So I looked it up under dear, Webster, Merriam-Webster. And mine, M-I-N-E, actually has a lot of definitions. So I'm going to go through them kind of quickly. Hope you folks can keep up. If not, rewatch this part of the episode. Mine as an adjective means my. And it's used before words beginning with an A vowel or an H. And now that I didn't know. But I thought about that gospel song, Mine Eyes Have Seen, but that's not an A, that's an E.
It's like the blues record, Maine. M-A-H-I. Oh, I'm just joking. Go ahead. Carry on.
So anyway, it also can mean mine used as a pronoun. I'm sorry. Mine used as a pronoun can mean that which belongs to me. Mine used as a noun has 4 meanings. 1A, it's a pit or an excavation from which minerals are taken. 1B, an ore deposit. 2, a subterranean passage under an enemy position. 3, an encased explosive placed in the ground or water, and once it's disturbed, is set to explode.
What was the one you read before that again?
What's the one before what I just read?
Yeah.
A subterranean passage under an enemy position.
Sound like an ex-girlfriend. Go ahead.
And then the 4th one is a rich source supply. Now, mine as a verb is 6 of them. 1A, to dig under to gain access or cause to collapse. 1B, undermine. Undermine. Y'all with me? Okay. 2A, to get something from the earth. 2B, to extract from a source. 3, to burrow beneath the surface. 4, to place military mines in, on, or under something. 5A, to dig into for ore or metal. 5B, to process for obtaining a natural constituent. Never seen the word constituent used like that, but that's for another night. 5C, to seek valuable material. 6, to create or obtain more units of a cryptocurrency. Now that messed me up because I don't know nothing about that.
Mining.
Yeah, because they're considered mining cryptocurrency.
Miners, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about crypto, so I love a learning moment. Thanks.
Mhm.
And then if you use it as an intransitive verb, it means to dig a mine. Why is he laughing? Anyway.
y'all, the way y'all, it's just funny. Carry on.
So literally, out of all those different definitions that I gave you, the word minds is simply one of those definitions. The word used um, with one of those definition as its context with an S on it.
Mhm.
There's no minds, meaning like for Valentine's Day, you don't say would you be minds. If you find a Hallmark card that did it, it's a typo. Mhm. So, for the love of God, when you're speaking of a person, place, or thing being yours, it is simply mine, M-I-N-E, not minds. Minds is the plural word of a plethora of definitions for attacking your enemy, digging a mine, finding a natural resource. Those are the things that would add an S to the word mine, and it plural would be appropriate.
Mm.
Well,
I love it.
ebonically speaking,
We don't
mine
speak ironically.
plural for
We don't
mine.
speak ebonically.
That's all
I've
right.
never brought that up. We go to
There's an
Merriam-Webster.
ebonic dictionary.
We don't go.
Time out.
Speak. We
Times.
don't speak ebonically. Not here.
Some of us do.
Not here.
I do.
Well, I mean, come on. Consider
Mine.
the source.
It's mine.
Oh,
Oh,
not
girl,
the
stop
of
it.
the source.
Stop it, pimping.
Dang.
Yeah, I don't be worried about her. I told y'all I'm bulletproof. I ain't worried about her. By the way, green tea with orange spice is combination with honey. It's pretty fucking tasty. You should try it.
Mm. All right.
It is.
Sponsorship.
That's what I've been drinking all night. It's pretty good.
All hearts and minds clear.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that concludes. Lele said, "Oh."
Pimps up, hoes
Lele
down.
is crazy.
Okay, that concludes our show for this evening. Thank you all for joining us as we do our best to give you the content you deserve. Feel free to keep the conversation going below in the comments. We do look forward to reading them and we do respond. Again, thank you for watching. If you have not, make sure to thumbs up this video, like, share, tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend, subscribe, click the notification bell, and remember that we are available on all streaming sites such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spreaker, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Pod Chaser, GeoSavin, iHeartRadio, and of course here on YouTube. So, that was a lot. We will see you next week on Monday, 9 p.m. on GoddeSShips, because every ship matters.
All pimps ain't the I mean ships ain't the same. Excuse me.
And life is lived on ships.
With pimps.
Good night.